One of my favourite veg to grow and to eat is spinach, but I often have quite a lot of issues with spinach due to the fluctuations in temperature on my cloud garden. So I've mentioned this before, if it's 10 degrees on a sunny day on ground level, it's around about 20 to 25 on the cloud garden. And so what happens is the spinach tends to bolt. So I did a little bit of research to see what kind of varieties of spinach that I could grow. One of my friends on Instagram, Balcony Self-Sufficiency, they suggested to me a different type of spinach called Malabar spinach. Now they grow this on their balcony in Australia, so I thought, well, hold on, maybe I could give it a go. And turns out I can grow it. There are two different types of Malabar spinach. There's one which has a kind of brown or dark red stem, or there's a green one. They're pretty identical and their tastes are identical as well. What's really interesting is they absolutely thrive in hot weather, which means they are perfect for summer. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Malabar spinach and also growing vertically on a windy balcony garden. Malabar spinach is actually a climbing variety, so I thought it would be interesting to show you a brand new plant that you may not have heard of, and also then show you a little bit more about the vertical growing on my balcony. I had to order the seeds online as I couldn't find them in any local stores. They're native to Asia and aren't very well known in the UK. Now it took 16 days for these guys to germinate, and foolishly I thought that they would be able to take direct morning sunlight. As you can see, that was not the case. But I decided to persevere with them. I was slightly skeptical because if they couldn't take the morning sun on my growing table, there's absolutely no way that they could take direct sun on my balcony garden. But I still tried. The second mistake that I made with these guys is just how closely I put them together. Obviously I knew that they would get bigger, and in all fairness to me, I didn't think that all of them would make it. They did. 2 months later, and just look at how big and thick and juicy the leaves are. They vigorously vine out and will wrap themselves around anything. They don't start to vine instantly. They grew like regular spinach and then eventually grew a vining shoot like this. It sent up one main stem and then just vigorously branches off that main stem. You harvest and cook them in exactly the same way as regular spinach. In warmer climates, they're classified as perennials, but here in the UK, definitely annuals. They are not frost hardy at all. In fact, the change in weather is now making mine flower. But once they flower, the taste of the leaves turns bitter. Just look at how they've made their way all along the arches. In my upcoming harvest video, I'm going to harvest some of the leaves, and I'm also going to chop some of these back and then propagate them in water. One of the things that people always ask me about when they see photos of the cloud garden are the arches. Now, as you can see, they are stunning. They are probably one of the highlights of the garden, but are they actually practical? If you are simply looking for a bit of decoration for your balcony garden and you can fit them on, absolutely go ahead with it. But in terms of growing, I found it extremely difficult. One of the reasons is being so high means that already we're exposed to the elements, but the arches then take it one step further. So what I found is anything that grows above the glass railings seems to suffer quite a bit when it becomes windy or when it becomes too hot. I also had to take a calculated risk with the arches. So what I noticed was everything at the front of the arch was obviously subjected to a little bit more sun. Everything on the backhand side of the arches was a little bit more sheltered. I chose the beans and the passion fruit to be at the front of the arches because they would thrive in the sunlight. However, this was a grave mistake. What I didn't take into consideration was the wind, and so the plants that were on the front side of the arches, which I thought would have done better with a little bit more sun, did do well on sunny days, but on a windy day, the leaves of the passion fruits and the beans which I was growing were too big. They ended up getting windburn and were damaged beyond repair. Now over winter, what I'm going to try to do is grow some peas and plants with some smaller leaves just to see whether or not that's going to make a difference. During October and November we do get quite a lot of storms, so I always have to keep the wind in mind when I'm growing. As for the trellis behind me, that has been more successful than the arches, down to the different varieties of plants which I was growing up there. For me, the nasturtiums were absolutely blissful, and they have done such a spectacular job throughout summer. Their downfall was not actually to do with the wind or the elements in general, it was to do with aphids and pest activity. They started out really promising and flowered like crazy. They became really productive and produced loads of seeds, but as you can see, it didn't take long for the aphids to wear them out. Through winter and spring, what I'm going to try is growing sweet peas and seeing what the sweet peas look like going up this trellis. I hope that they'll do a little bit better, and they're also frost hardy, so I'm hoping that they'll be able to survive. The current iteration has got morning glories growing up, and they got absolutely battered in the heat. Interestingly enough, the nasturtiums managed to reseed themselves, so now they are now growing up the trellis again. In my upcoming harvest video, I'm going to show you a little bit more of my vertical herb gardening. I'll tell you this though, the one time where the arches really do come to life is at night time. If you're new to my channel, I don't believe in pitch perfect gardening, I believe in showing you the realities. But this is probably as close to perfection as my garden gets. I just love it at night time. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try the Malabar spinach again, except I'm just going to start it a lot earlier next year than what I did this year. What you will find is the Malabar spinach, it grows up to 1 to 2 inches a day when it is really sunny, but on a cold day or when it's cloudy it won't move at all. So it's a really cool and fun and interesting plant to grow. If you've got any suggestions for me that you think I should give a go, let me know in the comments below, and I'm more than happy to do another test one for you, and I'll do some reporting throughout the next season and let you know how I get on with them as well. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go for your dreams and make your wildest balcony possible. All I'm saying is that there are some great pros and cons of vertical gardening, i.e. the arches on the garden. And so what I wanted to do is to offer you my findings so far, just so that you don't try to implement what you've seen in my garden and then get home and realize actually it doesn't quite work for you, and then you become disillusioned and maybe not enjoy gardening as much because I fail on your garden too. You know me guys, I always want to keep it 100% real with you. If you haven't already, don't forget to like this video, and also think about subscribing to the channel and joining our little community. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye!